Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of Pernell Whitaker versus Cardona. We are picking up in the 7th round, I believe. This is right after the 6th round. Now Pernell Whitaker really started putting it on in the 6th round. You can see right there with that jab that we discussed in the previous video. So we are starting in round 7. Some things to look for is Pernell Whitaker's different types of jabs, his flicking jab, his single hard jabs, his footwork, how he's the general of the ring. What happened there? I think he got thumbed in the eye maybe. Let's watch that real quick. No, I'm not sure what happened. But Pernell Whitaker so far has been controlling the fight. Like I said, he started putting it on in the 6th round, and we'll see what he does now. That's the left uppercut we discussed. Boom. Let's watch this again. Nice left uppercut. Let's watch that one more time. Let's pay attention to his feet, his jab. So we already discussed a lot of his jab, or a lot about his jab. One more time. So when you're replaying something, it's easy for your eyes to get caught at the punch that's thrown. But you really want to replay it a couple times. One time focus on the feet, one time focus on the hips, one time on the hands, one time on the upper body, just to get a full picture. And something I've realized with Pernell Whitaker is the first jab. Let's watch this again. So like I said, he doesn't step in on the first jab, right? So the first jab, when he's going to throw a double jab left hand, the first jab is just a flick. But watch what he does with his left foot when he throws the first jab. Boom. So this is called loading up the back foot, or bringing up the back foot first, or whatever you want to call it. It's the same move. It's basically before you step in with your lead foot, you're gonna load up your back foot by bringing it up. Now, for a fighter that stands or sits on their back leg like Pernell Whitaker, he's not a front-footed heavy fighter. He's a boxer that sits on his back leg and keeps his front foot out. When you are in this stance, you are farther away from your opponent, right? So someone say like, I don't know, Julio Cesar Chavez, who would stay on his lead foot, he would be closer to his opponent so he could just step in and jab right away. With Pernell Whitaker, he's a lot more far away, or a lot farther away from his opponent than a front-heavy fighter or a forward-heavy fighter. So what Pernell Whitaker has to do is actually bring his feet up whenever he wants to throw a combination or throw his backhand especially. And that's kind of the reason why he does this. So he touches with the first jab, but the first jab, it's to blind the opponent, and the other thing it does is it hides the back foot coming up. So let's see when he jabs. Watch his back foot. Okay, now look how close his feet are. Now he could take another bigger step with the lead foot. If we go back, if he had just from here, if he had stepped with the first jab, then he would have to bring his left foot up and then stepping in with the second jab and then stepping in with the left hand. Okay? But what he's doing right now is he's just throwing a jab to the eye, or just a flicking jab in front of his opponent's eyes. And then as he does that, he's hiding his back foot coming up, so he brings that up. Right now he's loaded up, he's springy. So now watch his front foot. So watch his feet right here. Boom. See how they shift the weight? So boom, puts his foot down. Now he could push off the back leg, step in big with the front foot. Look how big he's stepping. And then he could step in again with the left foot. Okay, so far that seems to be the case. He's hiding his left foot, or he's hiding the fact that he's bringing up his left foot first. So he throws a jab while he does it, and then when it's loaded up, he explodes with another jab and a left hand. And like I said in part one, Pernell Whitaker, he's the one moving after he punches. He's the one that's choosing the spots in the ring. So he'll move to the right, set up. His opponent will follow him, set up too. They'll exchange, or Pernell would hit him, move somewhere else, and so on. See right there? He stopped and then stepped back. So he's making his opponent stop and go, stop and go. His opponent doesn't know when the punches are going to come. And he can't control anything in the fight. See, Pernell's feinting. Nice jab. Nice double jab. Head and body. Nice jab again. Sorry guys for those sounds. So he does throw a single hard jab like I said. But when he does that, he doesn't really throw a left hand behind it. If you've noticed, every time he throws a single jab, there he threw a left hand. But when he throws a hard jab, he doesn't really come back with a left hand or follow up with a left hand. It's when he flicks his jab out 2 times, that's usually when he throws a left hand. But maybe because the fight's getting a little bit closer together now, he's just throwing the left hand whenever. Boom, left hand misses there. But in the beginning of the fight, that was the case. Double jab, then the left hand. Or double flicking jab. And this is something we discussed in part 1, which is sitting on the back leg. Watch how he puts his weight on his back leg. You could see his left knee. Alright, and then he can come back right there. Again, let's watch this. So this is the thing that you lose when you put weight on your front leg, is the ability to kind of, I don't know how to explain it, kind of think like your upper body's a stick shift or a manual transmission car, so a stick shift. You can move a stick shift forward, back, left, and right. So with Pernell Whitaker, by sitting on the back leg, or by having most of his weight on the back leg, he could lean in and lean back, or he could just stand here and lean back on the back leg. He has a lot more room than a person that has their weight on their front foot. So you could see Pernell Whitaker here. When his opponent comes in, he just sits back on that back leg, and then he can come back and shift his weight forward again. When you always have your weight forward, it's hard to shift back because you're moving a lot of weight. But when most of your weight's already on the back foot, it's easier to just shift your upper body. So that's kind of the thing with putting your weight on your back leg. And like I said, Shakur Stevenson, he looks to me the southpaw that does that the most, fighting off the back leg. Nice jab. Nice left to the body. Sorry for the sounds. You can see his eyes are wide open. Focus. Nice right hand by Cardona. Nice left hand. There's Lou Duval. I'm not sure what this angle is. They've played this angle a couple times in this fight. I'm not sure where they got this from. Oh, it's because the round was going to end. Is this the beginning of the round? Yeah, round 8. So what I want to see in this fight is how Pernell Whitaker adapts to when his opponent is actually moving forward. His Cardona has moved forward, but he hasn't been super aggressive. He hasn't tried to push Pernell Whitaker back, so we'll see if he gets desperate and starts doing that. He is trying to box him, but that's not a good idea. You gotta fight the boxer and box the fighter. Nice jab. Nice, get out of there. Find a new spot. So if you realize what Pernell Whitaker is doing, he's always finding new spots in the ring. That's something as intermediate, a beginner not so much because you're not going to be thinking about this. An intermediate level to an advanced boxer, if that's you, you should be focused on picking different spots of the ring. So throw some punches here, walk around, move around, find another spot, plant your feet, punch, move, punch again. And once you start working different spots, you start to learn how to like be a ring general, how to control the flow of the fight, walk when you want to walk, feint, keep them away for a sec, breathe, relax, come back in and fight. That's kind of how you start controlling the ring a little bit more and more. So that's something you want to pay attention to if you're an advanced or intermediate fighter. There he goes again. And I said Randy Turpin used to get low, but this is a new kind of low. If he was in the amateurs, he would have been taking a point for this. But yeah, find different spots. You don't just want to blindly fight whenever a fight happens in the ring, because then you're not in control. Of course, you're not always going to be in control if you're fighting someone like, I don't know, Marvin Hagler. But when you can, you try your best to control where the fight happens in the ring, and that's how you can control the flow of the fight. There he gets low again. Nice left to the body. There it is again. We've seen this happen a million times now. Sits on the back leg, comes back, boom, boom. So he's not slipping the jab. This is different than a slip. I'll show you guys why. A slip is, say, your lead shoulder here, and if he's slipping to his left, he would drop in closer to his opponent. But Pernell Whitaker isn't getting closer to his opponent. He's sitting back on his back leg, so he's getting a little farther away. But his opponent is reaching in. So when your opponent is reaching in like this, let's talk about this again. So what Pernell Whitaker, we've seen him do throughout this fight, is he's not slipping inside of punches. He's sitting on the back leg. And with a slip, he would be getting closer to his opponent, right? With this, by sitting on his back leg, he's creating more distance from his opponent. But the reason that he could tag his opponent with a counter punch is because his opponent is reaching in. If his opponent, Cardona, wasn't reaching in, if he's just popping his punches from here, Pernell Whitaker would have a harder time catching his opponent with a counter because he's so far away. So we'll watch this again, step by step. So you see how he sits back on that back leg? Well, he can throw his counter now, because look at what his opponent did with the right hand. No jab, no nothing. Just came in, threw a lead right. Okay? So he got out the way of the lead right, and now his opponent is right here, and he could be tagged with a 1. He missed the 2, but he's landed it a bunch of times before in this fight, so you get the idea. So against someone that's sitting on their back leg, the worst thing you could do really is lean in with your punches, and especially leaning in with a lead right hand without setting up with a jab. You could see his opponent keeps reaching in with that right, so it's just making it easier and easier for Pernell to keep countering with that left hand he's been countering with. There it is again, that left hand. Nice jab. Nice jab. Nice left hand. Now the best thing about a guy like Pernell Whitaker is when his opponent starts to like feel beaten and he starts to slow down. That's when you see the real magic happen. That's when he starts throwing lead lefts and uppercuts and doing all that crazy stuff. I think he got tagged right here though as I was saying that. Yeah, he got touched with the right hand, but he was moving away, so I don't think he was hurt. He kind of got mad that he got hit though, I think. Nice jabs. Another guy that did this really good was Floyd Mayweather. He would pick his spots in the ring where he wanted to fight or where he wanted to throw punches, and he would move, find a new spot. Nice job again. He's cranked Cardona's neck back several times. Pause. Damn, ref almost got sandwiched on the ropes. Damn, Pernell had some quick hands. The thing about Pernell Whitaker is, even though he used his feet, he would sit there and let you try to hit him. Like, he wasn't just gonna run away from you like a lot of fighters do. Like, he believed in his defense that good and his counter punching that he didn't mind sitting there and letting and trading with a big puncher because he could get out the way and counter in real time. He didn't need to run away from every punch. Like there, he could actually get there quicker with his own punches than his opponent. Nice left uppercut. Let's watch that again. To the chest. Uppercut to the chest. Let's see this again. So he slipped. Now this is more of a slip. He got in closer than before. He was like leaning back on his back leg. This is more of a slip, where his opponent's hand is actually going behind his back or past his back. See how he slipped in? That's a little bit different than the other times he's sat back on his left leg. Right on the chest, or left, right on the chest. Damn, that was nice. Nice jab. See how he throws those stiff jabs when his opponent wants to come in? Nice jab again. And again, a lot of respect for this guy in the neck brace that showed up to this fight. I feel like he has something to do with the fight, because why would he show up with a broken or with an injured neck if he didn't have, or he might have been a huge Whitaker fan. But shout outs to him for going there. So this is another thing that I want to talk about. A lot of boxers do this, guys that put weight on their back leg, or just boxers, with air quotations, your natural, or the natural definition of a boxer is from here. Okay, let's watch this again. Now this is really important in fighting, is walking forward. So I'm replaying this, but Pernell Whitaker could walk forward or walking backwards. Let's do this again. So here he's in his fighting stance, and watch what he does here. He gives it a little bit of a pivot. He gets hit with that right hand, steps back with that lead foot, and then now he's still in his fighting position, but now he could actually walk back. And you literally just walk backwards and you leave your shoulder towards your opponent. Now from this position, or this position, you could easily, like from here, you could change this into a step forward and actually be in your fighting stance really quick. So this isn't dangerous at all, especially if you're Pernell Whitaker. So he's just walking backwards, and then he sets up again. So it's really easy to go from this to this, and you could punch again. But walking forward and backwards is very important, especially if you're a fighter that likes to move around along the ropes or in the middle of the ring. Walking forward and backwards is really good. You can kind of catch your breath, think, and move around. You don't got to like shuffle every time you want to move. Oh, Lord. Jeez, I don't know how that guy's neck probably hurt the next day for sure. See, he's walking forward now. Then he gets back in his stance. Walks backward. No, now he's kind of walks backwards, gets back in his stance, jabs, okay? So my coach used to make us do like 6 rounds of this, where we switch between shuffling sideways, walking backwards, walking forward, moving along the ropes. We would shadow box, then we'd hop in the ring like 10 guys, put the ropes up across, so we'd go under the ropes, and then we'd do like 6 rounds of just moving. Boom, boom. And that really helps your footwork. So that's like a real footwork drill. With footwork, you don't want to get too tricky with the training. You just want to do the same thing over and over again. You want to find the right technique and repeat that right technique over and over again, but you don't got to do crazy stuff. That's one way to get out the ropes. I'll let you guys watch that in full motion or in full speed so you guys could appreciate it too. I don't like the shot from Lou Duva's behind. RIP. Round 10, championship rounds, 10, 11, and 12. Ooh. Right here. See how he sits on the back leg. Now, like I said before, this style of fighting, Pernell style, it works best against a pressure fighter because a pressure fighter is going to actually close the distance for him and make him able to land those punches. If he's fighting another boxer that likes to move around, then that would be more troublesome because now the left hand isn't landing with ease, because now you actually got to work harder to land that left hand and you got to close the distance. But by Cardona closing the distance for him, he could just literally sit back like he's been doing and come back with a counter. That one, a nice one to the body. So that's why boxers, when you hear them say, I prefer a pressure fighter, that's why. A pressure fighter comes close and closes the gap for a boxer or a counter puncher. But when two boxers fight each other or two counter punchers fight each other, then either both lead or one has to lead. So it's kind of, they don't like fighting each other. They want to fight the guy that rushes in or the guy that reaches in. But Pernell Whitaker had a solid attack too. He wasn't just a counter puncher, so I wouldn't see him having that much of a problem with the boxer either. There, he gets low again. I might make an Instagram video of him just getting this low. Going for a walk, catching his breath, setting up again. Oh, nice left to the body. Nice jab. How many times have I said nice jab in this fight? I'm waiting for rounds 11 or 12. Let's see if Pernell already knows that he won this fight and he just coasts, or if he's going to put pressure on the 11th and 12th round. It will be entertaining to see what he does. Because right now I don't think his opponent won one round. Except land a few shots, his opponent hasn't controlled any aspect of the fight. He has been moving forward, but he hasn't done anything really. And Pernell Whitaker, I want to say that Pernell Whitaker is the best example of a boxer, a counterpuncher that moves backwards and still wins. Now, a lot of boxers now or throughout boxing is a lot of counterpunchers that fight off the back foot and going backwards. They don't throw enough big punches. They don't attack enough during the fight. So it's okay to be a fighter that moves back and fights going backwards, but sometimes you do have to attack. You do have to show aggression, like what Pernell Whitaker does right here. And that's what tells the refs that you are in control of the fight, even though you're moving back. But if you are just moving back and only throwing a jab here and there and giving free access to your opponent to move forward, then you're not in control of the fight. But by the way that Pernell Whitaker stands there, pops a hard jab every now and then and attacks, he's showing that he is in control of the fight. He just prefers to step back when he boxes, basically. Now this is really nice. Cardona is really reaching in now, I think. Yeah, boom, boom. Pop. Put him in a blender for a second. I really want to see Pernell Whitaker go all out right now in the 11th and 10th. 11th and 12th, what am I talking about? Time. I don't even know why they're going in 11th and 12th round. There's no way that Pernell Whitaker is going to get knocked out or lose on points. So I would have just stopped the fight because his opponent, Cardona, is getting beat to the punch every single time. I don't like that saying a puncher's chance in boxing because it gives false hope, especially when someone wants to sell a fight when they know that a guy sucks and they're fighting another guy and they say, oh, well, this guy has a puncher's choice. That's like saying if you have a gun and a Navy SEAL has a gun, and then they say, well, you have a puncher's chance against a Navy SEAL. Like, you do have a gun, but you're not going to get near as lethal as him, so you're not even going to land that shot. He'll take you out with a knife. So basically, puncher's chance is a real thing, but so is experience and skill. A puncher's chance is mostly when a guy hits really, really hard or two guys are about the same level and one guy just lands that one shot that he needed. Like, say Marquez versus Pacquiao, that single shot. That's a bad example, though, because Marquez actually trained for that punch and he's a great counterpuncher, so I won't use that example. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when a guy just lands a big punch and then he ends the fight. What's that fight I was watching yesterday? John Montez versus Freddie Pendleton. So Freddie Pendleton was winning. Montez lands big punches, and then towards the end, Montez knocks out Pendleton. So that's like a boxer's chance, or a puncher's chance. But the fight was competitive the whole time. So, boom, boom, boom. Sorry for that little rant. I always find myself going on rants when I'm talking about boxing. Lord, I feel like Kevin Gates. Lord. Boom. Bang. Again, let's watch this again. Sorry for the sound effects. So jab or fake jab. Drop. Roundhouse left. Cardona throws kind of a right hand from a southpaw position. Ooh, and he's open for that left uppercut. Whitaker right here is just having fun. Just having fun in the ring. Nice jab. So you see how he stops and pops those single jabs that stop Cardona? That's the type. If you're moving backwards, that's that like that. You got to let the refs know that, hey, I'm in control. I could stop this guy from moving forward. He's not going to just walk in on me every single time. So you got to show that you are in control of the fight. That means just as much as landing punches. And you got to show aggression. Sometimes you got to attack and show that you're not running away from your opponent, basically. And that allows you to move back and fight off the back foot without losing rounds. Oh, headbutt, I think. Headbutt or something in the eye. Maybe a thumb. There's that double flicking jab in the left hand we talk about. Then he throws that single stiff jab. There goes that stiff jab. Okay, yeah, my guess was right. He's not going to put a lot of effort in the last 2 rounds. He already knows he won this. He is going to throw, though, but he's just going to clown a little bit, too, because he earned it. Click. Oh. Damn, this guy was good. I think he has 17 fights here. So this is like peak athleticism, peak hand speed, peak everything. Gets off the ropes. Ref has a word. I don't think Pernell Whitaker was the guy that meant to like make his opponents look bad with his little antics, but he just liked doing it because he liked being in the fight. Sorry for the disruption. Back with round 12. Let's see, I was saying, is Pernell Whitaker going to fight the last round, or is he going to move and just secure his win? Let's see what happens. Let's see, I was going to say something, but I won't. And you see how he's on his back leg right here? Leaned away, weight on the back leg. So if you want to know the difference between a fighter that fights off the back leg and someone that fights off the front leg, this is someone that fights off the back leg. Okay, now if Pernell Whitaker just looked over to his left and turned his shoulders around, if his head's not here, it's just there, then his front leg is bent and his back leg is a little bit more straight, then he's a front leg fighter. But here you could see how he's leaning, see how his body kind of leans or is on an angle, and his back leg is bent while his front leg is still bent, his knee, but it's more straight. And I already gave the reasons why in the beginning. And most of you guys should already know this. Difference between a front heavy and a back heavy boxer. Nice left uppercut. So he is fighting. He's not just cooling off this round. He's going to do something funny right here, I think. Oh. Maybe headbutt or elbow? I'm not sure. 1. This fight was like a supreme showcasing of skills. Like, he showed a lot of skills in this fight. I don't think he showed everything he had in this fight. He didn't really need to. He just sat back on the back leg, jabbed, and worked his 1-2, worked the left uppercut. So I don't think Pernell Whitaker showed us like all what he knows in this fight, but it's still a good showcase of his ability. Nice work. Lean back, lean in, punch, lean back. Ooh, slick. So if his opponent Cardona was coming forward like this the whole fight, then we would have seen a little bit more defense exhibition from Whitaker. But Cardona just kind of stood there most of the fight. Now he's trying to move in, kind of a little too late for that. But good sportsmanship, still giving it effort, not quitting. That could happen, but that was a knockdown. That was just a slipperoo. Fight is over. Yeah, I don't know why he put his hands up. Easy win. The great Pernell Whitaker. This won't be the last fight I study of him. There'll be more to come of him, especially against Julio Cesar Vasquez and Julio Cesar Chavez. I might not do the one against Oscar De La Hoya because I'm pretty sure that's going to get copyrighted. But yeah, quick ability, used his mind, southpaw, sat on the back leg, shifted his weight around when he needed to, double jab, the different types of jabs, the stiff jab, the double flicking jab, loading up the back foot, head movement, getting low, choosing his spots. Mr. Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea, RIP. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.